right, boys and girls. So I am joined today on another customer interview with one of our Elevated Mentorship private clients, Ivette Rios. Yvette is in,
Peoria, Arizona.
yeah, I have no clue where that's at, but how do you say it?
Peoria.
Peoria, got you. Now, Yvette's been working with us inside the Elevated Mentorship program since, I think you said since October, November of 2023.
Yes, November.
So I guess, Yvette's story is pretty cool because like overall, not only do you do barbering, but you also do hair units as well, correct?
Yes, I do.
So like we started, you were kind of the beginning of doing hair units overall. You were doing like, I believe maybe like right around, right below 10K a month. And then in just a few short months, I think in January, you hit 34K in 1 month from hair units and also cutting hair, which is incredible.
Thank you.
What the heck happened? Like how did you grow that quickly? And like what happened for that growth overall?
So for that growth, really, I had to lock in and I had to realize that in order for me to get a goal, get more money than what I was making before, I had to just start really listening to the market and start really realizing what I needed to offer to my clients. And that's when I started ramping up the hair units and started offering more hair units, and my prices increased on that too. And I think it was like during the holiday season too, everybody wanted to look better. I introduced the hair units into Arizona for like, I'm one of the very limited specialists out here who does that. So that just automatically rung a bell for everybody and wanted to come get the hair units. And from there, I also mixed the haircuts, and combined, I was able to make the 34K.
Yeah, that's freaking wild. So like I know also we were talking before, like you weren't really doing hair units. Like you were kind of just starting when you entered the program. Like starting the hair units, started off at like $500. Like where are your prices at with doing hair units right now?
So in the beginning, like you said, I started off at $500 only because I was trying to learn it with my clients too, and telling them I'm starting, I am certified, I'm very confident, but I might mess up. And after a while, I just started getting more education. I went out to Houston, and then I did an online course. I went to New York, and I just started locking in and getting more education for the hair units, and now I'm at 1500 charging them.
That's crazy. So with that, I mean, like, there's a lot of like those clients. I mean, do they find you on social media from the content you're posting? Like, how are these clients finding you overall?
Yeah, they've been seeing my Instagram videos, my TikTok videos. Like I said, it's not a tapped in industry yet, or like a service. And the fact that I was able to listen to my clients and seeing that that was a problem that they had, balding, I really just locked in on it and decided to do it. And so from there, like everybody just started seeing the videos pop off. They seen how much detail I put into it, and they love it. And they started getting that trust and coming towards me.
I know with you, take me back like before you joined the program. Like, what was going on? You were cutting hair, you're making about 10K a month overall. Where were you at in business, and before even like working with us inside Elevated Mentorship?
So I was always guessing through life, and I can say I had a lot of things accomplished prior to this, but it was never I never felt in line or in purpose. I had to own two barbershops prior. I bought my own house. I had the pretty car. I'm 23. I'm 24 right now. I was 23 years old when I had accomplished all that, and I was just like, what's next? Like I'm just guessing. Like what really do I need to do to get to the next level? And that's when I started realizing that people get mentors, people get help, and I never asked for help, and I never found a team that was willing to be in that same like-minded space or willing to go get their goals. And that's when I found you, or when in reality Ivan introduced me. Ivan came down to Arizona. He was already into this group, and I seen immense just work from him, and just seeing growth, a lot of growth, that I wanted to be like that too. And I had asked, and he approached me and he told me about the mentor group, and I was like, oh my god, I want to join. Yes, that's something that I would be really interested in. And sure enough, it was the biggest turn point in my life when I joined.
So I mean, that's pretty incredible. First of all, like you're 23 years old, you own two barbershops, obviously bought a house by then. What was driving you? Because I feel like for a lot of 23-year-olds, like not that many 23-year-olds that focused on like their goals. I mean, like I remember when I was 23, I was focused on going out, partying, having fun. What really like I guess drove you or motivated you to be a go-getter and do and accomplish all these things?
I had to remember my reason why. And my reason why was because I come from a family of immigrants. And I'm the only one who was born in the United States. And I got given the opportunity to be the person that they came out here to dream of. We're in the land of dreams. We're in the land of opportunity. And I give that to my parents. They inspire me so much by their story, by their journey, to be able to come here and give us so much better of a life. And that right there, I was like, okay, I have to be able to prove them that we can make it. We're going to be financially stable. We're going to be financially successful. And I'm going to become that wealth in the family, and I'm going to build that with them.
Now,
So
did
that was
that
my
come
anchor.
from? Did that come from like obviously you went to high school? Did that come from like right out of high school? You're already cutting hair. Like when is? Did you go to college? Like what happened overall?
So So my sister, she was a cosmetologist before me. And when she was in cosmetology school, I was about 13, 14, and they gave her the opportunity to be an instructor in the school. And they seen that I was there just watching. And so by the time I would have graduated barber school, I would have finished my credits in high school. So what I did was during summer, I enrolled and got more credits in high school. So I quickly advanced all those credits. And when it came to graduating, finishing the 1,500 hours in barber school, I was already ahead in high school. So I just got my transcript, sent it over, and they accepted me. And I was able to get my barber's license at 16. And I was still in high school, graduated, and I started working at a barber shop when I was like 15. Oh my goodness. Licensed at 16. And since then, I've never worked anywhere else. I don't even know what a W-2 is. Yes, I've been a barber this entire time, and I've always just wanted to do better and do more. And this group has helped me
What
a lot.
yeah, like what for you? I mean, like why did you know like from early on like this was the thing for you early on?
I didn't know, and I never wanted to be a barber, actually. I was fighting with my parents and telling them that, no, I don't want to touch men's hair. I don't want to do this and this and that. But my mom was like, no, we need to assure that you have a trade behind you when you go to college. And if college doesn't work out for you, this is your backup plan. This is going to be something that's going to help you along the line. I'm like, fine, that's fine. My sister's already a cosmetologist. I knew myself how picky I am with my own hair. I didn't want to go into the cosmetology world. So I figured maybe just doing simple haircuts was just gonna do it. And I did my first haircut. I kid you not, I fell in love. I fell in love. But they were about to kick me out of barber school because for the first 4 to 5 months, I didn't do anything. I was just there wasting my parents' money. I was just like doing nothing. I kid you not. And then they were like, you know what? If you're not in here doing anything, you can leave. And my parents were so disappointed in me. I was like, okay, I'll try it. Like I said, I cut my first head of hair, and I was like, oh my god, I actually like this.
You're
And I
like,
fell in love with it.
why was I screwing around this whole time? This is actually kind of
Yes.
cool. That's
And I
hilarious.
have pictures from way back then too, where I would like try to do designs and I would try to do all crazy stuff because I actually enjoyed it. And to this
Yeah.
day, it's like I still love it. I find myself so lost in the craft of this, and it's like it's so fulfilling for me. Very fulfilling.
Now, I guess for you, like, how has it been, like, I guess, like, in Arizona? Like,
Peoria,
is the barber,
Arizona.
yeah, is the barber like industry pretty big out there? Is it like up and coming? Like, what is like the scene out there for barbers?
It's starting to get pretty big actually. But I feel like it took a while for me to be able to get that stage where I'm at right now, only because it was my I put myself in this little shell, and I'm my worst critic. But I feel like here they're very, and as far as the barbering world though, they're very very connected, and we have constant expos and all this. But I just again I was always very hidden and always very scared, and being in this group though has been it allowed me to just go out there and be myself, show up more authentically.
Even though you didn't want to come out to our Miami event, I had to be like, Yvette, come on, you gotta come out.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to know a crazy story? I kid you not. The night before you had messaged me, I had prayed to God and I told him, I'm like, please give me a sign and let me, like, if I'm not supposed to go, I'm not supposed to go. But if I am, give me a sign. And I woke up to that message, you asking me I was gonna go. I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm going. At that
Yeah.
moment, I was like, there's no ifs or buts. I'm going.
Yep. Yep. And I just thought it was funny, like, you're like, no, I'm not gonna go, and then all of a sudden you're there, you're participating, having the fun, like having a blast and stuff like that. I do have some questions I want to get to as well too on here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do is read off some questions that I guess like you're more interested in answering. So I guess for you, when you're on the path of growing a business, there are these moments where you're alone and you can see everything starts to click. Like it's like all the stars in the universe kind of line up together. Can you tell us about like that moment when everything started to click for you? Like what happened, what was going through your head, and how did you use that moment to move forward?
Yes, that I'm about to get a little vulnerable with you guys. That moment comes back to one specific day. It was October 15th of 2023. Like I said earlier, I had already accomplished a lot of goals. I had bought my two barbershops, I bought my house, I had the pretty car. I was pretty far ahead in my career per se. And October 15th, I was supposed to, well, I had my grand opening to my salon suite. And I had a little bit too much to drink drink and I tried to commit suicide. And obviously it wasn't successful. I'm still here. I have a beautiful purpose to fulfill. And at that moment I felt like, okay, Yvette, like there's clearly you've been able to accomplish so much, but what's missing? Is it your purpose? Like what really like do you need to be able to get to that dream that you really have of yourself? And I felt unaligned, but at that moment I just realized that there was a drastic change that needed to happen in my life. And alongside, thankfully Ivan came into my life at that moment and introduced me into the mentorship program, and that got me very structured. That got me into getting into line with more mindset stuff, getting in line into, because mindset bleeds a lot into business, and if you're not okay in here, it's not going to be okay in business. And I put all that together, prioritized it, and I can really say in these last couple of months, and it hasn't even been a year, I've seen immense transformation, huge transformation from that moment. But that one day, I bring it back, not to like, again, bring down the mellow mood, but just to show how much power that I have within myself, because I couldn't even bring down myself. So what can bring me down, in other words? So at that, I use that to just power me on and fuel me and just keep moving forward.
I didn't even know that. That's actually like, I had no clue, but that is actually an incredible story. I appreciate you sharing that. I think of course, for you prioritize mental health a lot at this moment in time, correct?
I do.
I think for a lot of barbers, I think for a lot of people in general, men and women, like mental health's not talked about enough. What steps have you taken to like either improve mental health, to work on your mental health, to keep check on yourself? Like, what have you done for yourself overall?
So another thing that I was very, very grateful for, I think in the beginning too, we had Mindset Wednesdays or something like that with Antoine. That helped me a lot, because I was in a group where people like to talk about it, and it was with barbering too. So being able to combine all that too, I felt a huge amount of support. And with that, I had my own therapist that I talked to every Monday as well. I prioritized a lot of downtime and a lot of like solo time to myself, even though that being in this group, I realized that it's super important to still be on social media every single day. I had that boundary where I still gave myself time to give myself grace, and I kind of compare my brain to like a computer. If it's constantly going all the time and you don't have time to unwind and journal and let go of everything that's truly in your heart or in your head, it's always gonna either one, you're gonna shut down and feel really overwhelmed. And I got to that point without being able to fully be vocal about it. And I don't want to head down that place anymore. So now it's like when I feel myself feeling overwhelmed or feel myself feeling any type of way, I give myself those days to just go ghost mode and just unwind and really get in tune with my feelings, and then I come back and I dominate. But that's kind of like my routine, and that's what I do to kind of take care of my mental.
I guess what would be like your message to somebody who might be listening to this that might be struck with mental health? What would your message be to them?
My message to them would be, don't ever feel alone. It might feel like everybody around you is so happy and in such a perfect world, but it's not a bad thing to ask for help. And it's not a bad thing to approach somebody. And even if you feel stuck, it's okay to find that outlet, find an anchor, and keep pushing forward, because at the end of the day, wherever you water the grass, that's where it's going to turn greener. So you need to be able to put that power into yourself, that love into yourself, to be able to just reciprocate it back out into the world and receive it as well.
I think for you now, being a business owner means that obviously you welcome and run towards hard moments and to overcome them. I guess in moments of doubt and hardship, like what was really your anchor or the source of your motivation to keep pushing forward?
So my source and the anchor was really knowing that my family came out here in the land of the dreams, to want to be better, to have that financial success, and just be able to achieve all their goals that they couldn't as a child or when they were growing up. And they want us to be in a much better place, and that's exactly why I'm here, to do that, to prove to them that we can do it, and that it is the land of their dreams, and everything it is achievable. And just because we're in like the minority section or very like that, it doesn't mean to be that we are always going to be there. We can definitely get out of it together, unified, and That's exactly what I'm leaning towards, and that was my anchor, my family, their story, and all that.
I know we talked about prior, like you also like you have your family like working inside your business as well too, correct?
Yes, my sister works with me right now too. Since I have Salon Suites, she was working her cosmetology license, but I also trained her to do the hair units, so she's certified in doing them. My mom cleans the hair units. I have my mom and my dad clean my shop every Sunday. Yeah, I love the fact that being the baby of the family, I've created such opportunities for my family as well.
I guess for you, you know, I know your mom was like when you first started cutting hair, it was like you have to do this, you have to do this. What does she think of your business now? Like, what do you think about like the position you're in right now after like forcing you to go to barbers? Did she have like that "I told you so" moment, or like how does she view your business?
You know what? They both do. They both do. Both my mom and my dad, they're just like, so what happened to that moment when you wanted to be a lawyer? And I'm like, you know what? I can still argue this, but
Yeah.
I love being a barber. And I'm like, you guys are right. Like, I really thank you guys, leading me to be where I'm at right now. And it's actually a blessing that they put me in that, because I don't know where I'd be at right now, honestly.
Now, I know you know as well too. I'm big on mindset. You know, I believe that nobody has business problems but personal problems that bleed in their business. I guess if you're reflecting on your rapid growth, what are some non-negotiable habits or mindsets that you've really leaned on to propel you forward?
So one thing that I made that I prioritize now is keeping structured and keeping a journal and making sure that I have all my finances set and actually written. And even as far as like my goals or anything that comes to my head, or as I also, when I went through the videos that you had recorded, just planning out my haircuts in advance and planning everything out in advance and having it nice and written, whether it's on a piece of paper or on my laptop or on my iPad. I have to make sure I have a just structured agenda, coming home every single day, keeping on top of my finances to know where and where all my money is going, how much I'm wasting. All that is a non-negotiable for me now, because it's like before I was guessing. I was like using the guessing game. Oh, something's $400. Cool, that's 5 haircuts for me, 6 haircuts for me. And that wasn't it. That's not gonna work out for the rest of my life. So being structured is very one of the most important habits I learned that I need to keep on.
I think a lot of barbers, like I remember myself even thinking that, oh yeah, like this is like equal to this many haircuts. This is fine. I don't worry about this. But then you kind of look at the end of the month and the money's not there. You're like, what the heck happened to this thing? And it's not until you start actually
Yes.
tracking, managing, realizing, oh, this is not a smart purchase to make, and you're like, this is where all my money's going. You're like, man, I could have been doing this so much earlier. I guess for you, what has been the biggest change? Do you go about your day differently? I know you said you're very scheduled right now and very structured. Do you like wake up and go to sleep at different times? Does things like change drastically day to day, or is it kind of like you just manage everything a lot better? Like, what has changed overall day to day for you?
What has really changed day to day for me now is prioritizing my morning routines, because if I realized before, I would just wake up, get in the shower, get ready, and go to work, and it felt like my days were horrible because I didn't have the time to even feed myself the proper nutritions in the morning, drink my vitamins, or any of that. And I realized that I was lacking a lot of health, and really that was bleeding into my business too, because I was getting to work feeling groggy. I was getting to work drinking Red Bulls and coffee and all that, and that's just not going to work out for me in the long run. So I really, what changed was focusing and prioritizing my health in the mornings, and at night journaling everything that went throughout the day, so I wouldn't forget special details or important details that I needed to do throughout the day. Because again, before it was always a guessing game. Oh, I need to do this, okay, I'll get to it tomorrow. I wake up and I'm just like, oh shit, I forgot that I needed to get to that. But now it's like I have it written down in the day before. I come and check over my to-do list that I still need to do the next day. Everything is nice and structured, and I know what to do. And I give myself grace though, because if I know that I can't get to it, it's still written down and it's still gonna get to it, just not now. And it's like, yeah, maybe not now, but they're there and they're written.
Yeah, and you'll get to it at some point. Is there like a specific routine when you first wake up? You do this, this, and this. Is it just like, hey, whatever's on the to-do list, you do that? Is it like kind of like a slow wake up morning? Like, what does it look like day to day?
No, I definitely have structured my mornings out that I just look at my phone, I see what time, and I include God first thing in the morning. I thank Him for waking me up and giving me the opportunity and giving my whole family the protection that we need overnight. I get up, I put on a podcast. I'm a big fan of Rob Dial. He has podcasts every 4 to 5 days in the morning. I listen to that for a good solid 30 minutes while I'm out on a walk with my dog, and that's the only thing I like to intake myself in the morning to make sure that my mindset is nice and fresh. Because prior to that, if I'm talking to anybody or if I'm texting to anybody, and excuse my language, but I feel like my whole day is fucked. And I don't like that. I like to get good information and good vibes in the morning. Then I get home, I drink my tea, I do what I gotta do, get ready, and then do some of my to-do list, and then get to work if I need to get to work.
Now, for you, business is all about taking calculated risks. These are rational risks overall. It's really about how we're able to make leaps and bounds where everyone else is like maybe too scared to take any step in direction. What's a risk or something you tried that really helped your business overall?
The biggest risk overall that I took being in the was to raise my prices. Ooh, that was one of the scariest but calculated risks that we took together. And the first one being with being coached with Sino. He told me, I think it was, I started at like 30, 40, and then I went up to like, I don't even remember the price increments, but I know that now I'm at 100 and 125, which I thought was crazy to begin with. And I always told myself when I first began, Daniel, I saw all the top dogs and I was like, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I don't know how I'm gonna be there, but I'm gonna get there. And now I'm there and I'm just like, holy shit, it was attainable. And it was all just to get like getting locked in and getting it in my head to do that. But like I said, being the calculated risk of being able to increase my prices from being at such a small price to where I'm at now, and it liberated so much time and allowed me to just give myself that free time that I need, give myself time to have more knowledge, to study and study the market and still get paid the same amount or a little bit more, and that helped me realize that my time is very valuable.
Now, for you, again, to show me your habits and I'll show you your future life. Which habits or ideas from like, whether it be like on Q&A calls or when we've talked overall at the EM private event overall, how have they helped you grow? I know we talked about heavily on the morning routines. Is there anything else that you would input in there as well too?
One thing that I always remember you telling us is at least make 30 minutes a day to study the market. And that I've always found it super helpful. Whether I'm sitting down waiting for a client, I pull out my phone and I look up, videos and I save it and I try. Even though I know I suck at posting, I'm still trying to get ideas and I still do and I study and all that. But I know that that's one thing that I need to lock in and being able to be more consistent on posting, not being shy, and just taking those study habits that I have now and implementing it into my actual content.
We'll get there with the posting. It's a little bit slower, but we'll get there.
We'll
We're
get
getting the
there.
results we need to, but we'll piece it along. I guess the last question I have for you, Vet, is like, if you can go back to the day before you started our program, what advice would you give yourself knowing what you know now?
Don't give up. I know that right now it seems very, very scary because it's something that you've never done before, you've never asked for help, and you've never searched for a mentor. Don't give up because this is about to transform your life so crazy to a point where you thought was not imaginable. And I definitely don't regret joining this team. Like, it's a true family that I've joined and I love being part of it.
And we love you being here as well too, Yvette. Even though sometimes you don't want to come out to events in person until we get out. We'll get there eventually. But I want to personally thank you overall, not only for this interview, not only for like putting in the hard work, but also opening up and being very vulnerable. Overall, I know a lot of individuals who are probably listening to this as well probably struggle with mental health, as I've struggled with mental health myself as well in the past. I think you're just a testament of like, look, if you keep on pushing forward, you keep working, you keep on having hope, and just like staying there again too, and just keep on improving yourself, you're a testament for what can happen overall. So I want to appreciate you and give you your flowers while you're here. Is there anything else you would love to say before we kind of wrap up?
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. And just for you, thank you for being committed to us and helping us support us through this entire journey. Everything you do for this barbering industry is amazing because it's helped me transform my life so much. So thank you. You created such an amazing woman that I am right now, and I can't wait to keep seeing the immense growth that I keep in this group.
Likewise, I'm very excited for your growth coming in the future as well too. Once we get down posting, but I
Yes.
appreciate you. Thank you so much. Other than that, boys and girls, thank you so much, and thank you again too for coming on this interview. And I look forward to maybe we get another interview, maybe in a couple months now. Maybe we crack a little 40, 50K. You don't know, huh?
Yes, that's a goal. Oh my goodness.
Awesome, Yvette. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Daniel.